I didn't want to just do the menacing stones today. I want to leave on a good note, so I'm going to stop on Jera for today, which means cycle. And, this is a programming symbol for those of you who program. And if you program, you know that you need to have something at the beginning and something at the end. Otherwise, you create an infinite loop. And so this stone always makes me laugh because it reminds me, like, we are in a cycle. If you follow if you're a witch, you follow Sabbats. If you're a druid, you follow Eightfold Wheel. If you're pagan, you follow the Eightfold Wheel. Maybe you call them Sabbats. But there are, 8 points in the calendar. Every 6 weeks we have a celebration honoring the sun and moon's position, right? What's interesting about that is that that Eightfold Wheel is 50 years old. Right, that wheel, as we know it today, was invented by Gardner, who is the father of Wicca. It wasn't really put together that way in any time before that. We think of it as being this ancient practice. It's really not. It's pretty modern. Now, in the olden days, ancient olden days, the druids, everybody, really did live their lives according to the seasons, but they knew 2 seasons, light and dark. When the sun is out, when the sun is not out, when things are growing, when things are not growing, right? They didn't assign to it all the traditions and things that we did, although they had festivals, depending on the sun's position. So, what we've named it is, what we've named them is really more modern. The druids, of course, have the Albans, Alban Arthur, Alban Eiler, and that on the cross quarters and whatnot. And different festivals and different feasts kind of go along with different positions of the sun, but that really organized Eightfold Wheel, that's very modern. 50 years, right? I always laugh because we often think things are like this, like long-standing tradition. I'll give you an example. Number 1 favorite requested bagpipe tune, Amazing Grace. Not a Scottish tune. Only popular since the 1970s because somebody made it famous. Somebody sang it. A singer I don't even know, like an old country singer made it. Not Carole King, but somebody like that made it popular. And then the Royal Dragoons, which is the pipe band, sort of the public pipe band of the military in Great Britain. They made a bagpipe version of it, of Amazing Grace, and that became popular in the 1970s, which is 50 years ago, because that's when I was born, right? So, we think about, Amazing Grace being this tune that they've played at grave sites for centuries and centuries, 50 years, and made popular, by a contemporary singer. So, Jera, all about cycles. Harvest and completion, so what comes around goes around, the cycle of the year, abundance and prosperity, continuity, patience and planning, gratitude and appreciation. The winter of life is coming. The summer of life is coming. How can you plan for that? So as you're looking at your journal, think about how you can plant seeds for the future. Some of us through the in-bulk season did indoor planting up here in the Northeast to get our plants ready to take out into the yards and our gardens later on, but we start that cycle now because we know that time is coming. So, but also thinking about personal harvest. What can you reap now that you can sow later in your personal life? Think about all the things that you can be grateful for in the abundance inventory you have in your life. New beginnings. There's always new moons are great times for new, fresh ideas. How can you collaborate with others? What are your personal growth cycles? So think about all the different ways that cycles play an important role in your life, and how you can honor those cycles, whether they be sun and moon cycles or whether they're personal cycles. How can you honor that timeline that is completely circular all of the time? Wishing you all the best and light and love. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.